So Guccifer 2.0 released his most recent rounds of memos and documents taken supposedly during his hack of the DNC servers last year, and they show with more certainty than the past documents he's revealed the collaboration between the DNC, actual employees of the DNC, and the Hillary Clinton campaign, the strategy to make Hillary the nominee before she'd even declared as a nominee, as opposed to simply emails being sent to the DNC as in the previous leaks. Now, we're excitedly watching for more information to be revealed. This is what we have currently. I've talked in general about this on the Young Turks yesterday, but I did have some extra thoughts that I wanted to talk to you about. Some things, 7 things that I've been thinking about these most recent leaks, and also about the future and what they could say about the future. So the first one is the DNC needs to say something. Now, I understand from their point of view, they feel no obligation. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, the new effective head of the DNC as well, doesn't feel any obligation to do this. But again, considering that they are in a mode where they say they are trying to get Bernie Sanders supporters to move over to supporting Hillary Clinton, you have to say something. I mean, even strategically, say that it's not true. I'm not saying from my point of view, I'm saying from their point of view. At least try to deny it if you're gonna just be silent. They would say neutral, perhaps. If you're not going to say anything, it's going to look even worse. So either confirm it and tell us why we shouldn't be pissed off about this, why this doesn't actually show that there was a plan from the very beginning, from before the very beginning to make her the nominee, or deny that it's true. But saying nothing is almost worse than lying in this case, because we know what it actually represents. You're just refusing to actually acknowledge it. The next one, with the DNC servers being hacked in this way, with Hillary Clinton's servers being hacked in this way, is there any server actually being used by a US politician that is in any way secure? Why do they even call these secured servers? Why do they pay these companies so much money to supposedly make it so that they won't be hacked in, when apparently they can't secure a portable hard drive, let alone important DNC information about the candidates, their strategy, their donor lists? Like, hire some Romanian hackers to protect your servers, because apparently they're the only ones who actually know what's going on these days. Okay, next one, why hasn't Bernie Sanders commented on this? I understand that he probably, like us, is waiting to find out for sure if this is actual real information, or if this is something that the Russians are releasing, or if it's something that the Russians are releasing and it's real information. I understand that he's probably waiting for that the same as many of us are, but considering at the very least that many of his supporters see this as further confirmation of what we've believed this whole time, he should say something. I don't even know what that would be at this point, but I would like a comment from him, especially considering the vacuum in comments from other politicians who are either implicated in this or could be affected by this. I'd like to have somebody with some actual authority to make some changes based on this tell me what they plan to do based on it, and so far we haven't actually had this. Another strategic thought, by the way, for the DNC, how easy would it have been to have done your strategy of making Hillary Clinton the candidate without making it so obvious and opening yourself up to the obvious charges that you're collaborating with her, you're colluding with her, and you're trying to make her the candidate? If you'd simply included in those memos a couple of throwaway lines about protecting the other people who are going to be running. So maybe if it wasn't just how we can protect Hillary Clinton, say, oh, and by the way, if they attack Elizabeth Warren on the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, then we're going to say this. And if they say that Bernie Sanders is a socialist, we're going to say this. There's 2 reasons why you should have done that. First, pragmatically, it would have made you seem at least neutral, and it would have been totally understandable that you'd want to protect all of the people running, even if you didn't actually mean it. And second of all, because those attacks against the other candidates hurt the Democratic Party. They hurt liberals. They hurt your chances of winning elections, so you should be defending them even if you don't want to, because it's better for you in the long run. And somehow they missed that obvious strategic necessity. Next thought, how mad must Joe Biden be about this? I mean, Joe Biden ended up not running for the presidency. I don't know how much he actually cared about running the entire time, but it was certainly a possibility. He was a man who was respected within the party. He'd been in the party a long time. He was acting vice president at the time. you expect that the acting vice president, if they're young enough and politically ambitious, is going to run, and that includes Joe Biden. And so for them to have just said, fuck it, we don't want no part of Joe Biden, I'd be pretty pissed. And right now, he's at least somewhat of a supporter of Hillary Clinton, at least in the media, so there's got to be some bitter feelings, some salt coming from Joe Biden. Next thought, Elizabeth Warren. I mean, she might run as Hillary Clinton's running mate. She's already come out and endorsed her. She's in her corner. I don't think that she's in her corner ideologically. I think that this is sort of a pragmatic thing. I think this is a necessity thing. But there was every chance in the world that she would at least start running, that, you know, at least early on she'd be involved in the process. And she's a darling of the party, maybe not the leadership of the party, but certainly the membership of the party. And so their complete lack of interest in Elizabeth Warren, that should sting her as well. There's a lot of long-serving Democrats who should be pretty pissed off about how the DNC, way ahead of the game, decided who the nominee was going to be. The final thought, who will be the Hillary Clinton in the future? And what I mean by that is, I don't think in general that every 4 years or every 8 years we have this process. I don't think that for 2004, I guess for 2008 first, I don't think that the DNC necessarily was so for Hillary Clinton. I mean, a lot of superdelegates went for her and all of that. That's certainly true. I think that she roped them in after 2008. But I don't think that they tried to choose a nominee necessarily as blatantly in 2008. In 2004, it doesn't seem like they were always going for Kerry. And for 2000, I mean, obviously that was a totally different time. We had an acting vice president who was going to be running. But even then, I don't think that they were in his corner in the same way. But in 4 years or in 8 years, are we going to have this fucking situation again? Are we going to have to wonder whose former employee is going to become head of the DNC and who they're going to be writing strategy memos about months before any candidate actually declares for the presidency? Is this the standard operating procedure from here on out, or is this some disgusting, bizarre aberration? At this point, I don't know. I can speculate about some people who are going to run for the presidency, and I'm sure that I'll have videos in the future where I'll do that. But I'm going to be keeping watch. Who is building up relationships with the influential leaders of the Democratic Party? Who is lining up the fundraisers? Who is perhaps lining up the machine to get in their corner? Because that's someone that we should have naturally more suspicion for than perhaps we even had for Hillary Clinton in this case. So anyway, those are just some of my lingering thoughts about the Guccifer releases, Guccifer 2.0, I should say. There will probably be more as more documents come out, but that's what I think at this point. Now let me know what you think.